Select star, DJ Eric Riggsbee. Very special episode. Today on the show, I have guest Agent 137. This is going to be episode 007. Okay, we're going to specialize this one. We're going to put 2 zeros in front of this one. Okay, this is episode 7, but we're going to be special episode 007 for Agent 137. So how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We just wrapped up a crazy weekend in San Francisco. We did the Faultline show on Saturday. Then I played New Year's Eve at the Mint for Opal Productions. And then you played on New Year's Day for Breakfast of Champions, Space Cowboys, wearing the shirt. Got the shirt, but there, did that.
I got the t-shirt.
Got the t-shirt. So are you glad it's all kind of winding down?
Yeah, I'm very glad it's all winding down.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I actually wasn't able to make it to Breakfast of Champions. I had a long night the night before, and I gave myself about a 50% chance. I appreciate you guest listing me, and I felt bad. I woke up around 2 the next day, and I was like, "What's going on? Oh, you're already playing."
It's all good.
Yeah.
I played really early.
Yeah,
what early.
Time?
I played at 7 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what'd you think of the whole experience of playing a party that goes from? I mean, the party doesn't start till 6 a.m., but knowing that it kind of tail ends New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it tail ends New Year's Eve, so I think everybody came from where they were at and showed up from there. Or they woke up at, 9 or 10 in the morning and got their breakfast and then came out. So,
and that's all mixed together.
Yeah, so that's all mixed together. So just doing something like that and not knowing, I think a huge part of DJing is knowing who your audience is, right? Right? That's or that is the thing.
Right.
So to play to basically a whole different kind of every different level.
Yeah.
There were people on this level and there were people on this level.
Yep. And I remember that being the hardest thing for me when I played last year.
Yeah.
Was who are you playing to?
Yeah.
At least if you're playing a club night, a 9 to 2, you know that people kind of coming in at 9 and then it ends at 2, and you can kind of give it a nice bell curve or sort of how it happens. So.
Yeah. And you come from the school of you put your people on a journey. So I'm like, wow, what kind of journey?
What journey are they on?
What journey am I on, A? And B, what journey are they on? And are we going to sync up in the middle at any point in time?
Right.
Yeah, it was difficult, but successful.
Good, good. Yeah. All right, well, cool. So I'm glad you're here today.
Yeah.
We're going to play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. All right, let's dive into the first level here.
Okay, let's do it. By the way, I'm not good at this. I don't play video games, usually, ever.
This is a hard game. I told her it's one of the hardest games I own, but it's got one of the best music soundtracks in any game that I own.
Which counts.
And also, you can hop on my back at any point, and I can somewhat carry you through the game, so. All right, ready?
Yep.
Speaking of planes, you live on a boat.
I do. Nice segue, Eric.
You like that? So, how do you have a little gun? Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Pew pew pew.
Yep. So, what's it like living on a boat?
Well, it's like living anywhere else, but on the water. It is. It's cool. I like it. It's very different from anything else or any place else that I've lived before. So I wake up in the morning and I look out over me or over my toes and I look at the water. I wanted to move to New York and live by myself, and I've always really wanted to live like maybe tiny living, or just tiny living, really. And you know, like everybody does the whole tiny house thing, and it's not really like.
Well, how tiny is it? Do you know the square footage?
Yeah, it's 300 square feet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tiny. But I'm not big either, so I mean, I don't need a lot of space. But it's a change. I own my own house in North Carolina, and I lived like on a cul-de-sac in a 3-bedroom home with woods in the back. So it's a huge difference.
Right.
To go from that to that. But so now.
I bet cooking is one of the hard things, right? Like actually having the space, because when you're cooking, it's not so much about the stove and all the things you need, but it's also about the prep space.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really think about that.
And I cook all the time. I'm very much a cook.
So you really had to figure that out. How was that?
Well, also I don't have an oven, and I only have a 2-burner stove. So we
already talking about burners?
No.
I can't believe it.
We're at the burners
already. We're already on the burners?
No, I learned to kind of get along without it, and then I got a toaster oven. So
you figured out like the toaster oven is actually probably pound for pound the best thing in the kitchen.
Yeah, I agree. It's
if you have to pick one utility, if they said you get one thing, I would probably take a toaster oven.
Yeah, I mean, but for the first year I didn't have one, so I learned to do it without it, and I think that really helped me kind of become a better cook. But I was just getting really frustrated because I couldn't bake anything, like nothing. So I switched to, and the way that I eat basically everything that I eat was something that I didn't have to really cook.
Right.
Unless it was something that be cooked on the stove. So lots of raw foods, and figuring out how to like make food without having to cook it.
So do you just go right out on the boat and just cast away?
I do.
And catch the fish?
I do not.
Or no?
I do not. I'm a little bit. We swim in the water. I am in Brooklyn. I'm not on the East River.
Yeah.
I'm in a bay that is close to the ocean. So we have astronomical tides, like 8 to 10 feet every day, or twice a day.
You got a little bit of rocking going on. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's in a protected inlet. So it's not. Like right now, I just talked to my neighbor, and he's like, oh no, yeah. That's what he was like. Yeah, no. He said that the wind is really bad right now. New York is in this really bad cold spell. Yes, let's get all the bananas. Go! Sorry. I got in here before all by myself. I was like, yeah! Look at, I'm just whipping bananas around.
She's pulling back the curtain.
That's her ponytail.
She pulled back the curtain, everybody. That's okay.
So yeah, but no, I don't cast the line. I do a lot of kayaking.
Really?
Yeah. So
is there a kayak on your boat?
There's one on the dock. It's I rent my boat. I don't own it, so it's my landlord's. When I wake up in the morning in the summer, I get on the kayak, and this is like my sunrise ritual, and I try to go out at least to Rockaway Inlet, and it's really cool because I get there before sunrise, and then I always watch the sunrise. I do that like 5 or 6 times a week. When I lived in DC, I lived in DC for a long time. I lived on the 17th floor of a condo for a very, very long time, and I don't think that I was ever grounded. Because I was always up in the air, and I spent a lot of my nightlife in dark clubs.
Right.
Okay.
So how many years have you been on the boat?
This will be my 3rd year.
So you really like it?
Yeah, I really like it a lot, actually. Yeah, I'm just starting my 3rd year in New York City, so. I got on you.
Yep,
All right. So, no, it's just really changed my life because I've been, into nature a lot more than I've ever been, and there's just really nothing like really actually waking up, rolling out of bed into a kayak, and just forcing yourself to be out for like 2.5 hours, and just getting some exercise and a lot of fresh air, really, really fresh air, and watching all the wildlife. And sometimes I'll go swimming,
Okay.
So like I'll go into, it's called Marine Park, so I'll go into Marine Park.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. I'll go into Marine Park and then I'm just wearing my bathing suit, so I'll go in there and I'll swim too. So you're like swimming like horseshoe crabs and all kinds of fish, and I don't know, like I grew up like I grew up on a lake, but just to see that every day and just see what the process is as far as the seasons are concerned, it's just really humbling.
Right.
And awesome. And I think that, I mean, you've known me for a long time. You've known me longer than 3 years.
Yeah, I knew you before you moved there.
Yeah, my persona has changed. I feel like I'm a lot calmer than I used to be. I mean, maybe it's because I'm growing up a little bit more too.
No, I think living on a boat would definitely mellow me out a little bit.
Yeah, because you wake up and you're just like, oh, this is awesome. I don't think any day I wake up I'm not like, oh, this is great. This is absolutely beautiful.
Tell us about your YouTube show.
Well, I participate and help Wes Smith out with his variety show. It's called the Wes Smith Variety ShYo, and it is usually about every 2 weeks.
And it's on Wes's channel, right?
Yeah, it's on Wes's channel. Yeah, we've been doing it for 2 years now.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I've been on the show twice.
Yeah, he's been a guest 2 times, and usually, the logo is that I talk with real people in real time about real things. That's Wes's thing. So it's basically a show of people just kind of talking about real things.
And so it's also, I mean, that's actually what gave me the idea was to do this was, I had been watching a lot of Let's Plays on YouTube and really enjoying kind of the casual nature of the interview process, but I was also really inspired by what you guys were doing and how you were bringing DJs on, and I was able to learn about all these cool things about DJs that I had no idea that they were even into, because if you go to see them play, the music's on, you don't get to talk to them.
Yeah, that's true.
You never hear anything.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we together?
I'm driving.
All right, you do it. I got nothing. Get the balloon.
I missed the K. Get the K.
Oh my gosh, those guys are on K. Look at them.
Those guys are definitely on K.
This is a delicious smoothie, by the way.
I make some of the best smoothies in the business.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just missed the N. The secret ingredient is the acai, and I am open to being sponsored by an acai company because acai is very expensive, and I use it almost daily.
Is it the little packet that you put in there?
It's the puree.
Yeah, the puree.
Little bricks.
Okay.
All right, this one's a shout out to our friends at Dusty Rhino.
Dusty Rhino. Yeah!
The segment sponsored by Dusty Rhino. Purveyors of good Burning Man experiences.
Yeah. So are you going to Burning Man this year? No, you don't. You're not going to. Actually, I already know the answer. Here, let me answer it for him. Eric doesn't.
What episode did I talk about that in? I think it was episode 4.
I don't know which one, but I know.
With DJ Lovely.
I know the answer. Yeah, Eric is. Eric and I. Fun fact: Eric and I are both Virgos. We're a day apart from each other on our birthdays, and we are true and tried Virgos. Although I'm also a Leo, and I think you're a little bit of a Leo too.
Yeah, I mean I'm not on the cusp, but I'm August 25th, and you're the 24th.
Yeah, I'm on the
so you are, but it's close.
Yeah, but so Eric does not like to be hot. So
is that a Virgo thing?
Yeah, it's not his thing. No, I don't know. He doesn't like to be hot.
Since you're a Leo, it's like a.
I'm okay with hot.
The lion likes to be hot.
Yeah, I'm okay with hot. I think that I was born in upstate New York, and I did a lot of winters in.
Oh, you had humidity.
Yeah,
yeah. Once I felt that for the first time, I went to live with my dad when I was 9 years old in New York.
Yeah. Where?
New York.
Where?
Brooklyn Heights.
Oh, in Brooklyn Heights. Ah, okay.
So, how close to Brooklyn Heights are you?
Not that close.
I guess we're having a shock by lightning.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Stop!
Ah!
All right.
Not that close, but yeah, I grew up in humidity, and I'm okay with hot. As soon as I turned old enough to leave home. It wasn't really anything against my parents or my family or my friends or anything like that. I just wanted to go where it was warm. I was so sick of being cold. Like, I'm just cold all the time. Being in upstate New York, it's like, you know, you don't have a garage but your car, and you're always scraping off your car, and like it's the wind chill is below 23 degrees and the snow is up to here, and you're just like,
sounds magical.
Yeah, it's magical. So I was like, let me see how I can get out of this, and I moved to West Virginia to go to school in West Virginia, and well, that's not really all that warmer. It just does a lot more. It has a lot more rain. So then after that, I was like, let me go to North Carolina. So I moved to North Carolina, and I lived in North Carolina for 10 years. That's where I bought my house, and I settled in there.
Okay.
And then after that, I was like,
Got the K.
Got the K. And after that, I was like, got the K. I moved to DC, Virginia, Northern Virginia.
Okay.
And I spent 10 years there.
You moved around a lot.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a nomad.
So never lived on the West Coast?
No, I've never lived on the West Coast, but I feel very at home here. I have friends here.
Yeah, you have a lot of people that love you here.
I've done a lot of Burning Man things, and you know, my camp is here and in Denver. Shout out to the Ice Pirates. Woo-hoo! And
the Ice Pirates were doing something at the Icarus fundraiser last year that I DJ'd at with the skate camp. There was like a bunch of camp. It was Ice Pirates, skate camp, and
that's all
Icarus.
Yep, that's all of us. And so having that, I guess, home base, I felt like that with New York too. When I moved to New York, I felt like I had friends there, and I was living in DC, and I was coming up to New York a lot and DJing. So I felt comfortable. I always wanted to live in New York City, don't get me wrong. Like, that was like my thing. Like, I really wanted to do it. I just didn't think I would ever do it. And but once I had, you know, like what I felt was a good home base and people that I enjoyed, you know, being around, and parties that I like to go to, then I moved there.
Right.
That's what I'm doing this trip, is I'm kind of doing a little bit of a scouting tour.
I think Agent 137 is always doing a recon mission.
Yeah, don't you think so? I probably am, yeah. I feel that way too.
It's in the contract.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I like being in different places and meeting different people, and I think like the whole DJing thing really helps with that too, because there's such a huge fan base of everybody.
That's one thing I love about it. It's
Yeah.
like I've been able to meet so many people from all over and play in all these different cities. And it's funny because, you know, in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm the only one that likes this, or only these people like it in my city. And then you go and it's like, oh, all these people I don't recognize are totally into the same exact thing that I'm into.
Yeah.
That's always a great feeling.
That's one of the things that I love is traveling. I really like to go to different places. I mean, eventually I'd like to be someplace, you know, like be able to go overseas and do that, of course. You know, that's the ultimate goal. But eventually I want to retire in a different place. So, I don't know, maybe California will be the last stop. Maybe when I get to the point where I'm the only one around in life, then maybe I want to go to someplace like New Zealand or Costa Rica or something. I can imagine like my wanderlust is not going to change.
Right.
Yeah.
As you get older. Yeah, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
You're going to want to go more places.
Yeah.
We have questions from the audience.
All right, questions from the audience.
We took these beforehand, okay? Okay. So
I don't know what these are.
This is on Twitter from Whodat at Dat is my boss.
Whodat at Dat is my boss.
I didn't make this up. He's one of my Patreon sponsors.
Whodat.
Shout out. How you doing, buddy?
Dat.
What video game soundtrack would you ever want to remix?
I think that maybe I would go with something from like when I used to play Atari. Maybe even Q-Bird or something like that. Something that is and make it like really subtle.
I like that.
Yeah, because I had an Atari, like when I'm dating myself right now, but I had when the Atari came out, I got one. So we had all of those, you know, games, and then Super Mario came out, and we do Super Mario.
What were some of your favorite games on that?
Donkey Kong.
Okay. Well, now we're playing Donkey Kong.
I know. I was like, okay.
This is fantastic.
This is fantastic.
I didn't even know that. How did this all just come together?
Yeah, Pac-Man, Frogger. Actually, Frogger was my favorite. I loved Frogger.
Frogger's a good game. It still holds up today. I mean, there's some of these games that are like just the gameplay is so good that it doesn't really matter about the graphics.
Yeah, Frogger was a good one. Me and him were kind of discussing this ahead of time.
That was special. I was supposed to go there.
I would play Frogger, but Frogger's so frustrating because you keep going back to this is what I didn't like about those kind of games, is that you keep going back to the first part, and that's frustrating to me because you don't ever really progress.
Oh, right. Okay, as you're saying.
Right. So I would get into it, and then there would be like a glitch in the game, and then you get like extra lives, and my parents would be like, "Kelly, time to go to dinner," and I would just be like, "Ah!" And it gets so mad. And I was telling him like I started swearing. It wasn't.
Yeah. So they cut you off. Huh?
Yeah, like I had video game Tourette's. Like I would just sit there and just like I won't say it now because we need to keep our PG rating. But yeah, so I basically got banned from the video games for a long time. My parents would not let me do it.
Oh wow.
And then Mario came out, and
I need to get on your. I need your help here.
Okay, what am I doing?
Okay, I need to get up here.
Okay.
There we go.
And then we would play that all the time, and I really did. I was really good at it for video games, and then I think I went to school or something, and I just didn't do it again. And I was like,
I think I decided to go to school.
I was like, I went to school
and do something with my life.
I went to school, and I don't think I had time to play video games. I was too busy boogieing around and doing all kinds of good stuff.
Here's another question.
Okay.
This is from Ann Lovely Allison,
Hi, Ann.
who was on the show episode 4.
This is not a cup of vodka, by the way.
We're still waiting for that sponsorship. Who was the first D&B DJ that you saw play live that really blew your socks off?
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna probably go with Aphrodite. Mickey Finn, Groove Rider. But my favorite, like when I first started going out, was Freaky Flow and MC Flipside. I'm actually friends with Flipside. Yeah. Shout out to Natalia. It was just a time where we would go out, and I think that
Get the K. Get the K. My friend's looking for it.
It was a time where we would go to parties in Atlanta. I lived in Charlotte at the time, but we would go to parties in Atlanta, and they were so good. Like the parties were so good. They would always have different acts. Like DB would play, but you'd also have like, oh gosh, I'm really going back. Like Deep Sky would play.
Oh yeah.
So they would just have all these different types of acts all at one time, and then they also did these things where they would have like Ice-T or the Sugar Hill Gang or something. Yeah, for a long time they would do these parties, and they would always have some kind of like, at the time, older rap group. Now they're like really older rap group. But
right.
Yeah, so it was just really cool, and I think that when we first started going to shows like that, we didn't know what drum and bass was. We didn't know what any of that was. We just knew that when we went to places, there would be this dark room with this really dark stuff, and we kind of thought it was a little evil at first.
Right.
And we're like, oh, we don't want to listen to that evil music, but then you get used to it. Did I do that?
No, I did that. There's one left.
Did I do this?
There's one left.
So yeah, we didn't know what it was, and then you're in that like learning stage where you're just kind of figuring out what types of music are, and you're developing your taste and what you really like. My first CD though was Daft Punk, and it was Round the World.
Really?
Yeah. So that was like.
I remember when that came out, and that was just.
That was what got me where I am right now.
Yeah. They're still my favorite act in electronic music. I mean, no one's ever gonna top them.
Yeah.
For
Homework.
Me. All right, we have another question.
Okay, another question.
This is from another previous Select Star guest, DJ Rocket.
A Rocket!
Does she always put her sticker graffiti in places that will catch people's eye? I heard you were putting stickers all over the venue at Underground SF on Saturday.
That's not true.
Is that not true?
No.
You have people for that?
I just put them in places that people will remember it. I mean...
No, that place is heavily stickered up.
It's heavily stickered, yeah.
I'm glad you did. What if people that are watching now want your stickers? Where can they find them?
You can go on to agent137.com. I have a little sticker pack button, but also too, you can get my music from there. I mean, it's a website. You get all the things.
All right, here we have not a past guest of Select Start. Would love to have him on soon, though.
Okay.
But he has done a Faultline session. It is Handsome Dodger.
Handsome Dodger.
He says, are there any female DJs that inspired you early on?
DJ Rap.
I love DJ Rap.
I love DJ Rap too. Yeah, definitely. She was. She came out with a couple albums early on. So this is early on, and she played breaks in drum and bass. So I could really relate to that because I don't think that there were really any other women that were playing that type of music. It was mostly Sandra Collins.
There was not hardly any drum and bass DJs that were female.
No.
Back then in the late 90s, there was hardly any.
Exactly. So, and she was really good, and she sings, on her own productions and stuff too, and she was producing the music. I'm gonna brag right here because this is my moment. This was a moment for me. We were sitting around. I'm gonna say campfire, but there's no fire. And we were sitting around, and she was sitting there with us, and she's like, "Do you think you want to tag a jungle set with me?"
Oh, you tagged with her?
Well, we didn't end up doing it. Well, there was logistics, but there was a lot of logistics.
Wait, should you have to sign paperwork?
No. There's no. But don't take this away. Let me finish. But like that time where you're when an idol is asked you to tag with them, it's just like a moment of holy freaking crap. And
yeah.
But I was all calm. I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then I went to the bathroom with my friend, and we were just like, she's really cool. We keep touch.
So DJ Orchid asks,
yep.
How much did you love meeting DJ Orchid?
I loved it.
She's also a Patreon sponsor.
I loved
Thank you,
it.
DJ Orchid.
I loved
it.
it.
Was a great time at our party on Saturday because you got to meet a bunch of people that you'd only been talking to online.
Yeah, actually, we were talking about that earlier. Jenny is also the person I was talking about earlier. Jenny is DJ Orchid. So I met her through a friend of ours who has passed away. Adam, pour one out for you. But we met in the chat rooms and all that. So these are people that I have never met before that I feel like I've known my whole life. It's a whole social media thing where you're just you grab onto a whole bunch of people and some of them stick and some of them don't. And she's just a really good person and Rudy too. And I really was.
They're funny.
Very excited.
They're really funny.
Yeah, I mean, I started from scratch. I didn't know any music theory at all. I actually just picked up CDJs and started putting songs together. So, I've been in the scene for so long at that point. I knew kind of when you dance and when you hit your moves and stuff, that's how I learned to DJ. I didn't learn to count. I didn't do any of that. I just did it where it sounded good. So the whole music theory and taking some voice lessons and stuff where I can actually put something onto a microphone and
nice. You should do that.
Actually learning the scales and learning how to play piano and some drum patterns and all that. And it's.
Well, I can teach you how to play the drums.
Yeah, it's just so much. I didn't even know what a hi-hat. I knew what a hi-hat was, but I didn't know where it goes in a pattern or anything like that. Right. So all of that is. I've been learning all that, and now I feel like I've got enough where I can feasibly put something out that's going to be good. I mean, eventually I'd like it to be great. Just getting your name out as much as possible, in any way, shape, or form. This is something I took from the Wes Smith rulebook. You provide content, and this is content. Music's content. I've got some a business plan as to how I want to do things and get into other aspects of it that I don't necessarily want to share right now because it's super involved. But top secret, some really top secret agent stuff. But to provide different content to different audiences and getting your name out there. I'm okay at social media. But, there's people that are way better. I don't pay for social media or anything like that. I do everything on my own. Yeah, you can.
What?
Yeah.
I should have been doing that years ago.
Right? I mean, absolutely.
I appreciate you coming to town.
Mm-hmm.
and coming on the show, and have a safe trip back.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.